Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. The man from the giant demon clan was startled. He looked at Wang Lin with a look of amazement and said, "Fellow cultivator, not just anyone can escape the collapse of a celestial realm fragment. I really admire you. I am Kai-Hu of the giant demon clan. What is your name?" Wang Lin shook his head and said, "It was only by luck. My name is Seng Nyo." Thinking of the collapse of the fragment, he couldn't help but feel scared. If he hadn't recklessly devoured the celestial jade, he would already be dead. Seng Nyo, Kai-Hu pondered for a bit before his eyes suddenly became serious and asked, "Is fellow cultivator a member of the Seng family that is part of the rank 5 cultivation country of Heaven Soul in the southern part of Suzaku?" Wang Lin was startled and silently shook his head. Kai-Hu thought for a very long time. The only high-ranking cultivation country with a family named Seng was the Heaven Soul country. Although he didn't admit it, Kai-Hu didn't believe that Seng Nyo had obtained his cultivation on his own. He believed that Seng Nyo was a core disciple trained by one of the rank 5 cultivation countries. Otherwise, if it was someone from a rank 4 cultivation country, there was no way for him to not know. It has to be said that the giant demon clan was a rank 4 cultivation country, so they were very well aware of the geniuses of the other rank 4 cultivation countries. After thinking about this, his attitude toward Wang Lin changed a lot, but of course, with his cultivation level, he wouldn't show it. Kai-Hu hesitated for a bit and slowly asked, "Brother Seng, may I come closer to talk?" Wang Lin calmly looked at this person and nodded. Kai-Hu quickly walked forward and arrived at the edge of the platform Wang Lin was standing on. He casually waved his hand and formed a light screen. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but he secretly put up his guard. Kai-Hu sincerely said, "Brother Seng, since we are both from Suzaku, I hope you can help me." Wang Lin smiled. "Oh? If Brother Kai-Hu has any problems, you can tell me." Kai-Hu clenched his teeth, took out a jade, threw it at Wang Lin. He then said, "Once fellow cultivator sees this, you will understand." Wang Lin caught the jade and scanned it with divine sense. Even Wang Lin himself couldn't help but lose control of his emotions a bit. This jade contained an image recorded by divine sense. This was a scene of a very beautiful place. It was filled with flowers, green grass, and clear water. The most eye-catching thing was a pool of water. Floating on the pool was a jade coffin. There were 3 celestial swords sticking out of the jade coffin. The sword looked very similar to the one in the black skeleton's hand. The other thing that caused Wang Lin's pupils to shrink was that if he wasn't wrong, the entire jade coffin was made of celestial jade. Meanwhile, there were several plants floating on top of the pool. They clearly weren't ordinary plants. Wang Lin pondered a bit before handing the jade back to Kai-Hu. He remained silent. Kai-Hu looked at Wang Lin and whispered, "Brother Seng, this place was found by one of the geniuses of my giant demon clan many years ago when he came in here. He accidentally found this place, but it is guarded by celestial beasts and powerful restrictions, and because he wasn't powerful enough, he secretly recorded this and returned." Wang Lin pondered a bit and said, "It has been many years. It has probably been found by someone." Kai-Hu smiled. "Not possible, Brother Seng. I promise you that this place has not been found. Sorry, but I can't say the reason right now." Wang Lin pondered for a bit and then said, "I'm afraid it will be very difficult for the 2 of us to enter this place." Kai-Hu smiled and said, "It will be very difficult for just the 2 of us to enter, but I have asked another person. If the 3 of us go, I'm pretty confident that we will get there." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He said, "I can't answer you right away. Let me think for a few days." Kai-Hu nodded. "Naturally. How about this? If Brother Seng agrees, then meet me here in 1 month, but if you don't arrive by then, I won't wait for you." With that, he took out another piece of jade and passed it to Wang Lin. Wang Lin received the jade and noticed that it was the same as the one from the Da Luo sect. It was used to teleport around the celestial realm. However, unlike the one from the Da Luo sect, there was only one fragment that was lit up. When you enter the vortex, activate this jade and it will bring you to the right fragment. Brother Seng, I'll wait for you there. With that, Kai-Hu clasped his hands and walked into the vortex. Wang Lin put the jade away, and then sat down cross-legged. He took out the restriction flag and surrounded himself with it. His origin soul flew out and revealed a painful expression. A rice grain-sized celestial jade was forced out of his origin soul. After this jade was forced out of his origin soul weakened and looked like it was ready to collapse at any time as it slowly returned to his body. After a long time, Wang Lin opened his eyes, revealing a tired expression. He looked at the celestial jade before putting it back into his bag of holding. With Wang Lin's cultivation level, he couldn't even absorb celestial spiritual energy, much less celestial jade. Only late-stage soul formation cultivators could try to absorb it in an attempt to break through to the soul transformation stage. It can be said that there are so few soul transformation cultivators because there aren't many people that can enter the celestial realm to get enough celestial spiritual energy. In certain sects, ones with tens of thousands of years of history, they have a stock of celestial jades saved up, but only the elite and elders of these sects are able to use them. The lack of soul transformation cultivators is the reason why there are even fewer ascendant cultivators. If someone tries to absorb celestial spiritual energy before they reach the late stage of soul formation, it is no longer a treasure, but a poison. Wang Lin let out a bitter smile. His origin soul was heavily damaged, but luckily, he had wandering souls. After devouring some, he was able to recover a bit. However, spirit stones released spiritual energy, while celestial jades released celestial spiritual energy. Wang Lin knew that when cultivating after the soul transformation stage, aside from increasing one's own understanding of their Tao, the spiritual energy from the world was no longer viable to cultivate with. The more of this the better. Wang Lin knew how valuable the celestial spiritual energy was. If this piece of jade were to be placed in Suzaku, it would cause a bloodbath. Even Suzaku would come out to take it. After taking one look, Wang Lin put the jade away. Although his origin soul had taken some damage on this trip, the treasures he had obtained made it completely worth it. Wang Lin took a deep breath before taking out another object. This was the piece of metal from the chest of the skeleton. Sun Lei said that this piece of metal was a defensive type of celestial treasure, but when Wang Lin grabbed hold of it, he knew that this object was not a celestial treasure at all. He was too busy to take a closer look back then, but now he spread out his divine sense and examined it closely. The moment his divine sense entered the piece of metal, his mind suddenly became dizzy as information entered his head. After a long time, Wang Lin revealed a look of amazement and his eyes lit up. If the information stored in this piece of metal was true, then this piece of metal was the most valuable out of those three items. This piece of metal was like a piece of jade. It contained the method for refining a god-slaying chariot. According to the description of the piece of metal, that skeleton was once known as Heavenly Treasure Celestial. After he entered the celestial realm, he spent all of his time on refining treasures, without caring about cultivation at all. In truth, the reason he even reached the stage to be able to come to the celestial realm was so that he could live longer in order to finish his lifelong dream of creating the most powerful treasure in existence. Unfortunately, this dream ended with the destruction of the celestial realm, and the God-Slayer chariot never reached the stage he wanted it to and was sealed inside his cave. Before the celestial realm was destroyed, he had gone out to find some materials to continue working on the God-slaying chariot, but sadly, he died before making it back. He didn't want his life's work to go to waste, so before he died, he left the information in this piece of metal for the future generations to see. Inside the piece of metal, this person left a lot of information about the God-slaying chariot he never finished, including detailed production methods. He also left the location of his cave and urged whoever found it to go find the chariot, and continue his research if possible. Wang Lin took a deep breath. The production method of this chariot was very complicated. A lot of the materials required had already gone extinct, so it was impossible to produce another one. However, according to the description, Wang Lin could tell that there was some of these god-slaying chariots in his cave, making Wang Lin very excited. After pondering a little, he stood up, put away the restriction flag, and walked toward the vortex. The people on the platform saw Wang Lin and backed away. Most of these people were at the nascent soul stage, so they didn't go into the vortex. They could only hope to steal from someone who was injured after leaving the celestial realm. Wang Lin didn't even look at them as he jumped into the vortex. Inside the vortex, Wang Lin's body continued to sink. During this time, Wang Lin kept his eyes open. According to the piece of metal, the cave was in the western side of the celestial realm. However, the current celestial realm was now in fragments, so whether or not the cave still existed, or if it had already been found by someone was not certain. Wang Lin's body continued to descend, until he landed on a fragment in the eastern side. He looked around before quickly flying up and returning to the platform again. Then he once again entered the vortex. He did this many times before finally landing on a fragment on the western side. According to Heaven Treasure Celestial's description, his cave was inside a tiger-shaped mountain. Wang Lin looked around, but didn't see any tiger-shaped mountains. He pondered for a bit. Although finding it would be hard, he didn't give up and kept looking around. During this time, he met two other cultivators, but they just looked at each other before passing by. Many days later, Wang Lin still hadn't found anything, so he returned to the platform and entered the vortex again. The people on the platform had seen Wang Lin return and enter the vortex many times, but none of them knew what Wang Lin was doing, nor did they dare to ask. On this day, Wang Lin landed again and found that he was on the eastern side of the celestial realm. He let out a sigh. If this were to continue, how many years would it take before he could search all of the fragments on the western side? This Heavenly Treasure Celestial's cave was simply too hard to find. Just as he was about to fly up again, he suddenly felt a fluctuation of spells from the distance. He then saw two figures quickly coming toward his direction. The person in front had black clouds around him while the person behind him was a young man wearing a white robe with a cold smile on his face. At this moment, the person in front noticed Wang Lin. He quickly changed directions and shouted, "Fellow cultivator, save me." That white-robed cultivator's face became gloomy as he put away the fan and moved his hand. Suddenly, a giant hand appeared and reached for the person in front. That person's expression suddenly changed. It was as if he couldn't dodge it and was caught. However, his body suddenly turned into countless small insects and he escaped the hand. That person appeared 100 feet before Wang Lin. Upon closer inspection, Wang Lin recognized this person as the young man, with eyes filled with bloodlust from Suzaku. At this moment, his face was gloomy. After he appeared, he didn't keep running, but turned around to look at the white-clothed young man that was chasing after him. The white-robed young man looked at Wang Lin and clasped his hands. "Fellow cultivator, this has nothing to do with you. Please leave," he said. The young man quickly said, "Fellow cultivator, this person tried to steal my celestial jade. If you help me, we can split it." The white-robed young man's eyes narrowed as he said, "What nonsense. It was you who stole from me." Wang Lin frowned. He wasn't willing to get involved in this mess. Without a word, he backed up and flew away. The young man's expression suddenly changed as he chased after Wang Lin and shouted, "Fellow cultivator, consider that we are from the same planet, and help me this once." Wang Lin's expression darkened as he turned around and shouted, "Scram. Don't try to drag me into this matter between you two. If you continue to follow me, then don't blame me for being ruthless." The young man revealed an evil expression as he took out a celestial jade and threw it at Wang Lin before running away. "Since you aren't willing to help, then I might as well bring the trouble to you. I don't want this celestial jade anymore." The white-robed young man's eyes lit up as he shifted his gaze from the escaping young man to Wang Lin and quickly flew over to him. Wang Lin didn't even look at the celestial jade. He waved his right hand and sent the jade to the white-robed young man. The white-robed young man was startled and then clasped his hands. "Many thanks. I'm Kuei Shui Sect's Sima Yun. You are Seng Nyo." After Wang Lin finished speaking, he flew away. He decided to search this place and then try the vortex a few more times. If he still couldn't find it, then he could only give up. The white-robed young man shouted, "Fellow cultivator Seng, I have already searched here for a few days and there is no more celestial spiritual energy left. I don't know if you have any transfer array locations of other fragments, but we can exchange them." On the western side of the celestial realm, there was a fragment with a tiger-shaped mountain, but at this moment, the mountain was split in half. Wang Lin floated in the air as he calmly looked at this mountain. He finally found this tiger-shaped mountain on the third fragment that he had tried from the white-robed young man's transfer arrays. Although it was not exactly the same as described in the metal, the general appearance was there. Wang Lin's body moved and he flew toward the mountain. At the foot of the mountain, Wang Lin found the Heavenly Treasure Celestial's cave. After seeing at the cave, Wang Lin's face darkened. The walls of the cave had already been broken. There were also marks of techniques landing on the cave. Clearly, it had been destroyed many years ago. Wang Lin slowly flew into the cave. The cave wasn't very large, and it looked completely empty. Wang Lin let out a bitter smile. He had spent so much time looking for this cave, but was still a step too late. But just at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly lit up. This cave had 9 rooms, and all of them were empty, but at this moment, Wang Lin's eyes were locked onto the largest room as he wore a thoughtful expression. Inside the piece of metal, it was clearly stated how to open the doors to these rooms, and that there were a total of 10 rooms. The location of the god-slaying chariot was the 10th room. There are only 9 stone rooms. Where is the 10th? Wang Lin frowned. He had already spread out his divine sense and found nothing else. Wang Lin took a few steps forward and touched the wall. The wall felt cold, but there was nothing unusual about it. He pondered a bit before slapping his bag of holding. The piece of metal appeared in his hand. The moment the metal appeared, it suddenly released a bright light and began to heat up. Wang Lin suddenly felt excited. He backed up and threw the piece of metal into the air. Suddenly, the metal started becoming brighter and brighter until it began to melt. However, there was no liquid dripping down. Instead, it turned into a cloud of smoke. Inside this mushroom-shaped smoke, a figure slowly formed. This person was very handsome. His hair moved, but there was no wind. There was a very majestic feel about him. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he took a few steps back and looked onward with a cold gaze. After the figure appeared, his hand formed a seal, creating a golden light that covered the entire cave. Suddenly, rumbling sounds could be heard as the entire cave began to sink. The ground under Wang Lin's feet shook, but he remained calm as he carefully observed his surroundings. After a long time, the shaking stopped. On one of the walls, a glowing, purple door appeared. The figure formed strange seals and pointed at the purple door before disappearing. Even the piece of metal had completely disappeared. Wang Lin took a deep breath and turned to stare at the purple door. Including this door, there were now a total of 10 rooms in this cave. Wang Lin secretly thought, that figure must have been the heavenly treasure celestial. He really is a master of refining treasures. Even if people find this cave, very few would be able to find the room with the real treasure inside. His eyes lit up as he walked up to the purple door. After pondering for a bit, he quickly formed the seals shown by the figure and pressed on the door. The door immediately moved and slowly opened up. Wang Lin's divine sense spread out, and his eyes immediately lit up. This 10th room wasn't very large. Aside from scattered tools on the side, the most eye-catching things were the 3 monstrous objects in the center. After seeing this beast, Wang Lin immediately searched through Two-Sai's memories, but he was unable to find anything. However, there were many types of beasts in the universe, so it was not unusual to encounter beasts Two-Sai didn't know of. The 3 beast souls looked very similar. The only difference between them was their size. The one in the center looked very large, while the 2 on the sides looked smaller. After the 3 beast souls appeared, their red eyes locked onto Wang Lin with an unfriendly gaze. They roared as they charged forward and tried to eat Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes remained calm as he took a step back. But the moment the 3 beast souls jumped forward, countless chains as thick as arms appeared on them. These chains even went through the beast souls and began to glow when they came within 3 feet of Wang Lin. The 3 beast souls suddenly let out painful roars as their bodies were forcibly dragged back by the chains and were locked onto the chariots. Only the larger beast soul in the center had managed to charge out another few feet forward before being painfully dragged back. But the 3 beast souls were very unwilling to give up and began to struggle. The cave began to tremble as if it could collapse at any time. Wang Lin calmed himself. Although he didn't know the names of these beast souls, he had learned how to control them from the piece of metal. He also knew that each of these chariots contained a beast soul, and that the chains prevented them from going more than 3 feet from the chariot. Looking at the 3 beast souls struggling, Wang Lin quickly formed seals according to information from the piece of metal. As he finished each seal, they quickly turned into black rings. After the 3 beast souls saw the rings, they began to struggle even more. Gradually, Wang Lin's movements became even faster and more rings appeared. Soon, more than 100 rings filled the room. When he pointed, all of them flew toward one of the chariots. After putting away the chariot, he turned to the one on the left and used the same method to seal the beast soul that was on it. Finally, there was only one chariot left. This one had the smallest beast soul, but it was still not something Wang Lin could control right now. After this beast soul saw its 2 friends sealed away, he continued to roar. If it was the heavenly treasure celestial from back then, he would still obey, but before this tiny cultivator that he could kill with one slap if he was at his full power, his pride refused to let himself yield. Wang Lin stared at this beast. He struggled on deciding if he should risk it or not. If he wins, then he could temporarily control this beast, but if he loses, he will be in danger. After pondering a little, he touched the beast trap on his hand. According to logic, this beast trap should work, but this beast's soul must have been a celestial beast when it was alive. One problem was whether or not this beast trap would even work. The other was that even if it did work, would he be able to withstand the amount of spiritual energy that would be absorbed? He pondered a bit before giving up on the idea of taking the risk and sealed this chariot too. Too bad I don't know how much power these god-slaying chariots really have, but seeing how confident that heavenly treasure celestial is, I believe they won't be too bad. Also, the beast souls sealed in these chariots are very powerful, so their power shouldn't disappoint me. Sadly, I'm too weak to use them right now. Wang Lin let out a sigh before moving his gaze to the treasure refining materials on the side. He quickly put everything inside his bag of holding and then carefully examined them. After that, he walked to the purple door and used the same method as before to raise the cave and walked out. Wang Lin thought, these god-slaying chariots are really amazing. They don't require any spirit stones to activate, and solely use the power of the beast soul trapped inside to activate. As a result, it can save a lot of spirit stones, but if these chariots required spirit stones to active then, they would probably require celestial jades. I just don't know if there is any effect on the beast soul when activating the chariot. Under normal circumstance, there is no endless energy source in the world. The beast soul is likely to be damaged after a certain amount of uses, and could even disappear completely after many uses. Unfortunately, the heavenly treasure celestial didn't leave any information on that matter. Wang Lin looked at the sky and went into deep thought. I believe that the heavenly treasure celestial didn't have enough time, before his death, to leave all of the information inside the metal, so he only left the important things. This means that I have to personally do some research to understand more about these god-slaying chariots. Wang Lin thought for a while longer, before touching his bag of holding and letting out a faint smile. The harvest for this trip to the celestial realm has been very good, but the danger has also been great. If anything had gone wrong during the collapse of that fragment, I would most likely be dead right now. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. That phrase is indeed true. Therefore, I will have to carefully consider Kai Hu's invitation. Wang Lin floated in the air as he carefully thought about it. Many techniques were flying through the air on a fragment in the southern part of the celestial realm. There were currently 3 people fighting over a celestial jade. 10,000 kilometers away from the 3 of them, a middle-aged man stood in a grassy field while drinking wine from a gourd. He shook his head and said, "Ting don't worry. I'll find you more celestial jades, so that your body will remain the same for 1,000 years. This middle-aged man was from Suzaku, like Wang Lin. He walked on the plain while drinking. After a long time, he stopped. Looking down on the ground, his face was filled with old memories as he said, "Ting do you still remember this place? Back then, this was where I met you, but now there is no one left." He let out a sigh as his right foot gently tapped the ground. In an instant, his body disappeared. He quickly descended into the ground, until he arrived at a very large cave. Inside the cave was a tower that was surrounded by green gas. The middle-aged man took one step, and walked through the green gas and into the tower. This tower had 3 layers. The inside was very simple and looked very similar to someone's home, but there was a certain sense of elegance. As this person entered the tower, his gaze became soft. He walked through the room and touched all of the furniture, before sitting down and muttering, "Ting this was where I met you." His eyes revealed a deep sense of love, as he gently took out a pagoda from his bag of holding. He rubbed the pagoda and it emitted a white light. After the white light disappeared, the body of a woman in white appeared in his arms. He let out a smile and said, "Look, Ting we are home." This woman was very beautiful. She had an aura about her that made her seem fairy-like. Her skin was white, but there was also a hint of red. If someone were told that she was still alive, they would believe it. For some reason, the moment she appeared, she seemed to fit right into the surroundings. It was as if this place belonged to her. The middle-aged man gently touched the dead woman's face. The affection in his eyes deepened as he muttered, "When I first laid my eyes on you, I knew you were going to be my wife. I can't be wrong. Ting do you like this name? This is the name I picked for you." He muttered as he gently kissed the woman's forehead, revealing a fulfilled look. "For you, I gave up the right to become the sect head. For you, I betrayed my teacher. I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. Who cares if they say I'm crazy? I'm not crazy. After caressing the woman's face for a long time, he stood up. Ting, let us go upstairs. There is a dresser for you upstairs. How about you let your husband put makeup on for you? The man carried the woman upstairs. At the side of the dresser, the man placed the woman down. As he picked up an eyebrow pencil, his eyes swelled up with emotions. He muttered, Ting, are you happy? I am very happy. Why are you not talking? Please talk. Are you not happy? Please speak. Please speak now. Why won't you speak? The middle-aged man's voice became louder and louder. He threw the pencil aside as he shook the woman, and his voice became louder and louder. After a long time, the man suddenly became shocked. He quickly hugged the woman and muttered, I'm sorry, Ting. Please don't blame me. I know I was wrong. I'll never yell at you again. No one can take you away from me, no one. If anyone dares to, I'll kill them. Kill. 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 He took a deep breath, then kissed the woman's face a few times before smiling. Ting, look. This tower was originally going to collapse, but I was able to maintain its condition, because this is your home, our home. You must be tired. Rest a bit. The middle-aged man carried the woman to the bed. He sat on the side of the bed and looked at the woman with a gentle gaze. Ting, when I first saw you, you were laying there like this. Nothing has changed since then. Ting, do you still remember? When I first came to the celestial realm, I came to find celestial spiritual energy, but I found you here. When I first saw you, I knew you were my wife, so I stayed here with you for a very long time. As he spoke, his hand reached out to the woman's hand. As he rubbed her hand, he said, You are so perfect, perfect. You are mine. No one can steal you from me. Ting, tell me, you love me too, right? Compared to celestial spiritual energy, you are the real treasure. The middle-aged man smiled as he lied down beside the woman and muttered, Okay, Ting, let us rest for the night. Tomorrow, your husband will go find more celestial jades for you. Sleep. Don't be scared, I am here. Wang Lin flew in the air with a determined look on his face. The 1-month time limit was almost up, and he had made up his mind to go to the place Kai Hu mentioned. Ignoring the 3 celestial swords, just that large coffin made of celestial jade was enough temptation. He believed that with a large amount of celestial jades, his push for the soul transformation stage will be a lot easier. Reaching the soul transformation stage had very different meaning for Wang Lin. Once he reaches the soul transformation stage, Sichuan will be able to awaken. However, Wang Lin was only at early stage of soul formation, and was very far from the late stage. It was unknown when he will reach the late stage, but he wasn't anxious at all. He knew that he couldn't be anxious for cultivation. Everything that will come will come. In addition to all of that, some of the celestial herbs were also very tempting for Wang Lin. If he were to bring those back to Li Muwen, she would be able to make some top-quality pills. This would allow her cultivation level to increase even more. Unless a pill had a very powerful effect, Wang Lin wouldn't casually take it. After all, at his stage, it was mainly about his own comprehension. Pills weren't as important. But pills made from herbs from the celestial realm would be very different. After he made a decision, his body kept rising into the sky toward the vortex. He only needed to use the jade when entering the vortex to go to the meeting place. At this moment, at a fragment in the central part of the celestial realm, stood Kai Hu. Before him was a transfer array. Kai Hu's eyes were calm. He had waited here for 7 days. During those 7 days, there were some rascals that came by, but they had all been killed by him. He was waiting for 2 people. Kai Hu was 70% confident that they would be able to return with great rewards if those 2 came. He believed that those 2 would be tempted after seeing the jade coffin. After all, this temptation was something hard for anyone to resist. As a result, Kai Hu wasn't in a hurry. Those 2 people were chosen by him after careful selection. Not only was the first person very famous, but they also had connections with his giant demon clan. As for the second person, Seng Nyo, Kai Hu wasn't able to see through him. Although he was only at the early stage of soul formation, Kai Hu still felt a sense of danger from him. After thinking for a long time, he decided to invite Seng Nyo. After all, the stronger they were, the higher chance they had to succeed. As for whether or not the other two would try to kill him for the treasures, Kaihu believed that he would able to make it out safely with his power. Time slowly passed. On this day, the formation before him suddenly lit up and slowly brightened up the area. This dazzling light had no effect on Kaihu. He calmly turned to the formation and secretly thought, they came. But he didn't know which one it was. Once the light from the formation reached a certain degree, it suddenly dimmed. Shortly after, an exquisite figure appeared. This woman looked very beautiful, but the coldness on her face was very daunting. Cold air enveloped the area, and snow even began to fall around her. This scene looked very shocking. Kaihu's eyes lit up and he thought, it's her. He let out a laugh and clasped his hands. Fellow cultivator Red Butterfly, I have waited for you for a long time. This woman was Shueyu's genius, Red Butterfly. She coldly looked at Kaihu as she walked out of the formation and said, if what you said is false, I won't let this end so easily. Kaihu revealed a confident look and smiled. Fellow cultivator Red Butterfly can relax. Since you came, I can tell you. This jade was personally made by my giant demon clan's ancestor, Shizu. He should have no reason to lie. Shizu, Red Butterfly's face relaxed a bit. This Shizu was a senior of her master, and they had some connection. After all, there were only two clans on Suzaku that weren't native to the planet, the giant demon clan and Shueyu. Naturally, the two clans kept in touch with each other. It could be said that the giant demon clan was Shueyu's ally. Since it was personally recorded by Shizu himself, then I'll believe you and go with you on this trip. I don't want any treasures other than that celestial jade coffin. It must be mine. Red Butterfly's voice was very determined. Kaihu frowned and secretly thought that this Red Butterfly was too overbearing. Although he was interested in the celestial jade coffin as well, those 3 celestial swords were the things he had to get. If it was just 2 of them, it would be fine, but then there wouldn't be anything left for Sengnyo if the loot was split between the 2 of them. Kaihu pondered for a bit before slowly saying, fellow cultivator Red Butterfly, this matter is not so easily decided. After all, besides the 2 of us, there is one more that will join us. Red Butterfly calmly asked, oh. Who is it? This video will end here.